gone before.
Boldly taking talk radio where it has never gone before. New vistas, new voices, new views, new visions, new victories. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we're taking public media black.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss it. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
If you concentrate solely on your career, you can get a long way in your career. And I would say that that's a strategy that a minority of men preferentially do. That's all they do. They work like 70, 80 hours a week. They go flat out on their career. They're staking everything on the small probability of exceptional status in a narrow domain. But it's hard on them. They don't have a life. It's very difficult for them to have a family.
What's the one thing you said, God, I wish I had done that I haven't done?
You know, thanking Melinda.
It may be that unidimensionality is the price you have to pay to be exceptional at one thing. Right? Because if you're going to be something like a genius level mathematician and you want to do that or a scientist, say, it's like you're in your lab all the time, you're working 70 hours a week or 80 hours a week, you're smart, you're dedicated, you're unidimensional, and that's how you get to beat all the other people who are doing that. It's the only way. But the problem is you don't get a life. Now, if you love being a scientist and you have that kind of focus of mind, well, first of all, you're a rare person, and second, you're going to pay for it. But fine, more power to you. But it's a risky business to do that. You sacrifice a lot for it, you know. And I would say most often, if you're speaking about having a healthy life, that isn't what you do. You spread yourself out more. So, you know, you have a family, you have some things that you do outside of work that are meaningful to you and useful. You have a network of friends. Well, those 3 things alone, or 4 things alone, are plenty to keep you well oriented. And then if one of those things collapses, you know, everything doesn't go. Now, the price you pay for that is the more you strive to optimize that balance, the less likely you are to be fantastically successful at any single one of them. But you might have a very, you know, if you consider your life as a whole, that might be a winning strategy. One of the things Carl Jung said, I really liked this. He thought that men went after perfection and women went after wholeness. So they're different value, they're different, there's something different at the top of the value hierarchy. So perfection would be stake it all on one thing and look for radical success. Not that all men do that, because they don't, but we're talking about extremes. At least with regards to the men that do that. The wholeness idea is more like, well, it's like I want one thing in my life to be 150%, or I want 5 things in my life to be 80%. Well, there's a lot more richness in a life where you have 5 things operating at 80%, but you're not operating at any of them at 150%. So, and I really believe this because I've watched men and women go through their careers now for a long period of time, and one of the things that, there's lots of things that produce this, but one of the things that
Jordan Peterson on fire. Oh, again,
We live in a fractured, fragmented reality. And it shows up in our relationships. We tend to pick relationships that are familiar to us, even if they're toxic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? We tend to defend the brokenness of our upbringing, right? We'll defend it by choosing more of it, right? That's how you defend it, instead of saying, no, I'm going to stand up to you, and I'm going to undo you, and I'm going to take the pen of self-authorship and rewrite who I really am. No. Leave that pen alone. I'm going to befriend my brokenness, and I'm going to attract other people into my life that have a similar type of brokenness, right? And what was interesting about what Jordan Peterson was saying in that clip, if you want to be great at anything, you have to devote yourself to it completely, radically, right? You look at some of the great sports figures, you say Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. You hear people talk about Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, and they're not very good people. They're not very nice people. But on the basketball court, because that's all they gave it to was that, right? They were the greats, right? They were the best of the best. Michael Jackson, same kind of way, right? He's just hell-bent on being great, right? Einstein was with a woman, married, broke up with her. The woman helped him with some of his formulas, helped him, broke up with her, and married his cousin. And then ignored her because he wanted peace. So he married his cousin and basically ignored her so he could do his work, so he could focus on just his work, right? How does one take that perfectionism to accomplish something, to achieve something? Because it's pervasive in a material society, in a capitalist society, right? To be like, get rich or die trying. I'm finna go get mine. It's pervasive, right? How does one take that same type of ambition and hunger and apply it to healing?
Mindset change.
Talk to me. How do we change what has been ingrained?
You can't change anything until you first change your mindset. And in order to change your mindset, you have to identify there's a problem. Let's take a drug addict, for example. If I'm a drug addict, right, I have to first accept it. I have to first be honest with myself and say, hey, I'm on drugs. This is something I want to change. Many times I think the thing that prevents people from changing is they don't identify and accept it first. So I think the first step is accepting it. No, the first step is identifying it. The second step is accepting it. The third step is willing to do the work to change it.
Willingness. A lot of people lack willingness because of fear, because of uncertainty, because of self-doubt. Talk to me about how to cultivate willingness. Because to me, willingness is part of the wealthy mindset. That is a level of consciousness to be willing to change, to be willing to grow, to be willing to invest, to be willing to pour in. How does one cultivate that when they're from a place that says, I don't have the resources to do that?
But we all have that.
But if I believe I don't.
And I'm going to tell you why. A lot of times we have the willingness for other things and people, just not for ourselves, right? So, for example, it's like, I'm going to show up to my friend's gathering no matter what. I'm going to show up because I don't want them to feel like I'm not being a good friend. But we don't take that same mentality saying, I'm going to show up for myself. I don't want myself to think I'm not being a good person to me. And so we all have a sense of willingness because, when you get up in the morning, there's a willingness to get a paycheck. There's a willingness to feed yourself. There's a willingness to be entertained. Your willingness to get on social media to entertain yourself with drama. So everyone has willpower in them. It's what you put that willpower and time into is what matters.
Wait, hold on. In the name of Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, are you saying there is a gross movement of the mismanagement of the innate willingness we have within ourselves?
There you go. Because we all have it. What are you doing with it? What do you choose to do with it? So it's not like you don't know what it is. You just are choosing to use it for the things that you want to and not the things that you need to.
Wow. Choosing to be superficial, choosing to be fearful, choosing to be petty, choosing to be avoidant. Oh, Lord, this is what's happening to folk?
It's a choice. There's no other way around it. You're choosing it. If I have the willpower to go to school and get a degree, that means I have the willpower to put in the work and change. If I have the willpower to chase this man or woman on social media or to get on these dates and go on dating websites, that means I have the willingness to change. What are you using your willingness for?
Because most people use their willingness to pursue their desire. And they think their desire will be fulfilling. But until you heal, no desire attained will be sweet in the spirit. Might be sweet in the mouth, but it won't be sweet in the stomach.
There forever will be a void.
Come on. The impact of a poverty mindset on a relationship. Oh my God, it can be devastating. One of the worst enemies that you could possibly have to deal with is a poverty mindset. And let me read this quote for you. One of the worst enemies that sets the platform for developing a poverty mindset is your background, where you came from, the mindset of the people you deal with. What you know and your experiences can set the tone that causes you to believe that you are born to be poor. You can only get out of that dungeon of a mindset by revolutionizing the way that you think. Oscar Bimpong. Now let me just listen. Most people just rather be comfortable with their norm. And that's it. Their norm and nothing else. When a good person comes into your life, even if they do you wrong, but they're good people. You know, good people still do people wrong. Good people still make mistakes, in my opinion. I believe that. But when they come into your life and they have something to give to you and you know it, and you're resistant and reluctant to accept it, is it their fault or your fault for resisting what you know to be valuable? How many times have we walked away from something valuable? Dr. Mayo, am I crazy?
Not at all.
Okay, cool. Help me to understand.
Not at all. I want to talk about that, and I want to go back to something you said, which was good, and it's about growing up wealthy. But based on what you just said, I agree with you. Many times it's like a gift. God has shown me this years ago, even with people, right? So it's like a kid on Christmas, they get a nice toy, right? So if you ever bought your kids toys and they didn't want to play with it, I don't like it, they ungrateful, this is not what I wanted, right? So they put that toy on the shelf and they shove it away and they don't want to play with it, right? People in relationships are the same thing. We get presented with nice things, new things, beautiful things all the time. But because it's not packaged or because we can't see the value in it, we put it on the shelf.
Ooh, can you imagine leaving a wrapped package under the Christmas
tree? We
do
it all the time.
It's there right there on the 26th. Even, listen, I was a bad little kid. Wait, maybe some family member didn't show up to pick up their package. I'd be hovering and circling that package, that Christmas gift, like, oh Lord, I wish I could just open. Listen, a lot of people will leave a gift from God unwrapped because it's not in alignment with their wound's demands.
Oh, I like that.
Do you see? My wound says I need this. I need this type of attention. I need this type of person. And guess what? You wake up one day and you have exactly what your wound asked for, right? And you're disappointed. You're frustrated. You're disheveled. But you felt this before. It's a sense of, what is it? Deja vu. And you okay with it because that's your norm. And the gift that God gave was ignored, was pushed aside, was marginalized, was downgraded because you need to feed that wound. Just like a narcissist needs supply, that wound needs supply. It is the wound that is demanding, not you. Come talk to me, Dr. Mayo.
Well, we speak and want things from our heart, right? Our heart is what we would desire. And so if we're speaking from our heart, what is in our heart? Sometimes our heart is filled with hate. Okay, for example, let's say someone
revenge.
Yeah. And so when I'm going to get this person back by all means necessary, but in many times focus on getting the person back only hurts you. But I want to go back to what we were talking about with the thing with Albert Einstein. That was actually good. I didn't even know he married his cousin. I was like, what?
Yeah, come on.
But many times people think impoverished mentality because we've been talking about growing up poor so much that we forget that even growing up in a wealthy household, we're even emotion. You said basically he married his cousin and then didn't want anything to do with her. So you could be raised in a house full of money and still have an impoverished mentality because you're bankrupt in emotions. You don't even know how to be affectionate. I see people all the time and it makes them uncomfortable just to hug or be affectionate to their mate. So it doesn't have anything to do with finances because we have been talking a lot about growing up poor. But you could be in a wealthy household and still have an impoverished mentality.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Dr. Mayo. You thought you was going to come in here on a Tuesday and get a lightweight topic, huh? You thought I was going to come in here and talk about the Zodiac, huh? You thought I was going to talk about dating and cheating? No, we came in here to conquer, and Dr. Mayo is on fire. What I want a lot of people to do right now is go to her website. Tell them your website right now.
So it's my first and last name, Sania Mayo. S is in Sam, A is in Apple, N is in Nancy, I is in Igloo, Y is in yellow, A is in Apple, H is in Henry, M is in Mary, A is in Apple, Y is in yellow, O is in octopus.com. SaniaMayo.com.
SaniaMayo.com, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we come forward, we're going to the phone lines. We got sisters on the line that want to talk to the sisters.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Mom's early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take.
And when I left the oven on, we decided together that it was time to see a doctor and make a plan.
Early detection gave us more time to seek out information and support as a family.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time-to-talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
To my hometown, my community. Some of you have known me my whole life. Do you notice anything different about the kids in the neighborhood? Ever paid attention? We might start with gifts, money, attention. These are signs. Child trafficking is happening right here in this town. So don't just watch through the window. Pay attention. Because the more we know, the more we'll all know to say no. Learn the signs to look for and how to help at no-to-say-no.com.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth. And if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS is raising the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes, and further rate hikes are expected. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges on your tax debt daily. So if you owe the IRS today, you will owe even more tomorrow. And it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is, getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. In fact, the experts at Optima Tax have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-919-9077. 800-919-9077. 800-919-9077.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
In the Ferrari or Jaguar, switching 4 lanes with the top down, screaming out, money ain't a thing.
Bubble hard in the double law, flashing the rings with the window crack. Holla back, money ain't a thing.
Jigga, I don't like it if it don't gleam. In the hell with the price, but the money ain't a thing.
Put it down hard for my dogs that's locked in the bang. When you hit the bricks, new whips, money ain't a thing. Come on.
Y'all wanna floss with us? Come on. All across the board, we burn it up. Drop a little pickle, baby, toss it up. Slacking on your pimpin', turn it up. See the money ain't a thing.
Flex the road, sign a check for your Jigga style is love, X and O. Save all your accolades, just the dough. My game is wide, all names aside. Trying to stay alive, 100 down for the bracelet. Foolish ain't I, the chain to strain your eye. Twin platinum gun, son, aim for the sky. Ice on my bullet, you die soon as I pull it. Willies wanna rub shoulders, your money's too young. See me when it gets older, your bank account grow up. Mine's is 1000 old up. Damn near out the rear trunk when I roll up. Moti till I close up, it's all basic. I've been spending hundreds since they had small faces. Rob your stash out, doubled out down in Vegas. Me and JD got it locked crazy. Where you at, haters?
Jaguar, switching 4 lanes with the top down, screaming out, money ain't a thing.
Bubble hard in the double law, flashing the rings with the window crack.
And when I find that I can teach one person the joy of living, the joy of thinking God's thoughts, it's a beautiful experience to me. I think it was last Sunday and Friday of last week that the lady was here and came down here and brought those 4 bottles of pills that she had to live on. It was really 5. She didn't bring the other one. She had gotten rid of that one first. And those were heart pills. And she had to live on those pills every day. She had to take so many from this bottle, so many from that bottle, so many from the other bottle, and she had to carry those heart pills around with her. So that if all of a sudden the heart didn't act right, she had to pop a pill. She was a legal junkie. You know, there are 2 kinds of junkies. I'm getting in your medicine cabinet now. And I'm not trying to tell you, if the doctor prescribes some pills for you, you take them until I can teach you how to live above it. Now, don't go home and throw out your medicine. I don't try to stretch you beyond your faith. But this lady has been coming to these services and classes for 14 years, ever since we've been in this building. And it took her about 14 years, but she kept coming right back here. Finally, a year ago, she got it. She heard me say something about the heart. She heard me say that the heart does not attack anybody. People attacked the heart. She says, what? And it wasn't the first time I'd said that. I've said that from time to time. But she got it. It's just like when you come here, you're always going to hear me talking about health, happiness, love, success, prosperity, and money. Let me hear you say it. Health, happiness, love, success, prosperity, and money. Come on, let's hear it. Health, happiness, love, success, prosperity, and money. Let's hear it. Health, happiness, love, success, prosperity, and money. Now listen, if you get sick of health, happiness, love, success, prosperity, and money, no need for you to come back here. Because I'm going to wash your face in it. I'm going to baptize you with it. I like when we were at the Sunset, you know, I'd been there for about a couple of years, and somebody said, Reverend Ike, when you going to baptize us? I said, honey, I've been baptizing you ever since I've been here. Some people just won't get in the water.
Wow, you already know Reverend Ike was the master of this positive mindset. He was quite ahead of his time. Reverend Ike was heavy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to The Voice of Reason, live on KBLA Talk 1580. Zoe Williams is sitting in here with a sister that has been on complete fire, Dr. Mayo. Listen, man, we talking about broke love. Is your relationship on the rocks because of an impoverished mindset? And we've been covering all things impoverished, poverty mindset, and it has been really rich tonight. We've got a caller on the line. We want to get her in here so she could talk to Dr. Mayo. Attila from Houston, Texas. Get in here.
Uncle Zoe. Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, Dr. Mayo.
Hello.
Okay, so I have a question. So what role do you guys think fear of success plays in a impoverished relationship mentality?
Wait, say it again. I want to hear it one more time.
Can you hear me? Hold on.
I can hear you better now because it sounds like you was wrestling with a tornado, but you good now.
No, I went out. I went outside. Okay. So what role do you guys think the fear of success plays in an impoverished relationship mentality?
Oh, the fear of success. Yeah, Mayo.
The fear of success. What part or how does it play into an impoverished mentality? Having fear will keep you from reaching your destiny in every aspect of life. If you're fearful of something, you're not going to do it. Think about, let's say you're at a amusement park, right? You're fearful of the rides. You're not going to get on. So it's going to stop you from your destiny. It's going to stop you from moving forward.
So have you experienced this in your relationships, Atala?
Yes. Yes, I would say.
So open up and share it with Dr. Mayo, man. Don't listen. When I get company, you want to get scary. Get in here and let it all hang loose, child.
I'm not scared. I'm just. I mean, I would say that the relationship didn't even get started. It was over before it started. I guess in my mind, I felt like, well, if it does go well, then that means I need to change this, get this in order. And I don't know. I felt like I didn't really maybe deserve the abundance that would come out of me making the changes that I needed to make.
What? And it just, say that one more time. You didn't deserve the abundance?
Wow.
Yes,
elaborate,
I
meaning?
don't feel like I deserved the abundance. Because I knew that if things went well, that it could be a really powerful connection, and it would change every connection that I have in my life, including the ones that I've kind of thrown to the wayside because they're just too difficult to deal with.
Interesting. So you're saying it would have been a positive thing in your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the fear kept you from moving forward. Yes, no, maybe so?
Yes. Yes. Can you hear me? Yes.
So looking back now, what would you have done different?
I think I would have just been more open and authentic from the beginning, because by the time it came time for me to actually be completely honest, it was too late.
Wait. So you showed up as someone else?
No, I'm not gonna say I showed up as someone else, but I didn't show up as my full self. I definitely held back a lot.
Well, your full self is I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, because if you saying, because if you saying you didn't show up as yourself, you presented him with someone or her. I don't know. Is it a he or she?
It's a he.
Okay. So you presented him with somebody completely different, and so I would hope that you learn from.
Wait, no, hold on. When we come forward, Dr. Mayo is about to unpack this whole situation. We got a good one right here. We got a live one. When we come forward, the Voice of Reason shall continue.
Y'all wanna floss with us? Cause all across the board we burning up. Drop a little paper, baby, toss it up. You slacking on your pimping, turn it up. See the money ain't a thing.
Cake thick, I live the life, eating crab, watching chicken shake this shit all night.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Esther Dillard, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The ACs are pumping across the U.S. as folks deal with both a heat wave and the effects of wildfire smoke. A heat dome is currently expanding across the southern U.S., pushing temperatures into the triple digits and straining some power grids. Temperatures in Phoenix, Arizona reached at least 110 degrees for the 19th day in a row on Tuesday, breaking the previous record streak set in 1974. In New York, Governor Kathy Hochul is taking executive action to support new affordable housing projects across New York State.
It's about encouraging housing production from Brookhaven to Brooklyn to Buffalo.
It comes months after the state legislature struck down her controversial housing project to build 800,000 affordable units over the next decade. And that's the latest. I'm Esther Dillard from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Need an accident attorney by your side? All you got to do is call the Accident Guys.
Injured in a car accident or at work? The Accident Guys can come to you almost anywhere, so you don't have to come to us. Se habla español.
To boldly go where no man has gone before.
Boldly taking talk radio where it has never gone before. New vistas, new voices, new views, new visions, new victories. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we're taking public media black.
Have you heard about Lendistry? Lendistry is a national black-led small business lender that is headquartered right here in LA. Once you've started your business, Lendistry provides flexible financing options starting at $50,000 to help you access the affordable capital needed to grow. Whether financing is needed to increase working capital, acquire a business, purchase inventory and equipment, or refinance debt, Lendistry has a solution for you. Lending products range from traditional business term loans and non-revolving lines of credit to SBA 7A loans and commercial real estate financing. Lendistry's pre-application process is simple and does not impact your credit score. Visit lendistry.com/KBLA to learn more and to get started with an application right from the website.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is killing people. It's a powerful opioid, often made illegally and commonly mixed with illicit drugs. It can even be pressed into counterfeit pills that resemble prescription medications. Just 2 milligrams, about the size of a few grains of sand, could potentially be lethal. This isn't an ad to scare you, but it is an ad to make you think twice. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means... Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match, only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for voting rights. When We All Vote is a leading national nonpartisan initiative on a mission to change the culture around voting and to increase participation in each and every election by helping to close the race and age gap. Created by Michelle Obama, When We All Vote brings together individuals, institutions, brands, and organizations to register new voters across the country and advance civic education for the entire family and voters of every age to build an informed and engaged electorate for today and generations to come. When We All Vote empowers their supporters and volunteers to take action through voting, advocating for their rights, and holding their elected officials accountable. Please visit whenweallvote.org to stand up for your rights, voting rights. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
How much a dollar really costs? The question is detrimental, paralyzing my thoughts. Parasites in my stomach keep me with a gut feeling, y'all. Gotta see how I'm chilling once I park this luxury car. Hopping out feeling big as Mutombo. 20 on pump 6, 30 Marcellus called me Dumbo. 20 years ago, can't forget. Now I can lend them my ear too. How to stack these residuals tenfold. The liberal concept that men do. 2006, they didn't hear me. Indigenous African, only spoke Zulu. My American tongue was slurry. Walked out the gas station, a homeless man with a 70-tan complexion. Asked me for 10 rand, stressing about dry land. Deep water, powder blue skies that crack open. A piece of crack that he wanted. I knew he was smoking, he begged and pleaded. Asked me to feed him twice, I didn't believe it. Told him beat it. Contributed money just for his pipe, I couldn't see it. He said, my son, temptation is one thing that I've defeated. Listen to me, I want a single bill from you. Nothing less, nothing more. I told him I didn't have it, then closed my door. Tell me how much a dollar cost.
Let's stand for the treatment. In this treatment, let's do a stripping down of the mind. If a glass of water or glass is already full, in order to get something else in there, you've got to empty it, right? And if a mind is rich in negative ideas, rich in the traditions of men, rich in negative ideas, you can't get anything else in that mind until the mind empties out all of those negative ideas and in that sense becomes poor. It's an emptying, it's a stripping process. Strip from your mind every vestige of the idea that there is any power in your material conditions or circumstances. Now that's another big bugaboo. Oh, once you come to understand that, my condition does not have power over me. I have power over my condition. Say that. My circumstances do not have power.
Hold on. Say it together. Now, go ahead.
I have power over my circumstances. And this is what the Master Jesus tried to reveal to us when he said, all power in heaven and in earth is given unto me. All power in mind and affairs is given unto me. Me, the mastermind, the God mind, the divine mind. Only one source where your conditions and circumstances get their power. Your conditions and circumstances get their power from your thinking.
Ladies and gentlemen, the legendary Reverend Ike. You might not like him, but I like that thought right there. That was a very powerful thought. Let's bring Attila from Houston, Texas back in here. She was presenting her diet self to a guy. It's fine. We're going to let Dr. Mayo, because she was saying something to you. And
oh my God, So.
No, yeah, I'm just saying. I want her to help you. All right, that's why she's here.
I appreciate it.
So reframe the question for Dr. Mayo so she can tap back into you.
Ooh, okay. So what I originally asked,
No, not what you
what was it?
originally asked. What you asked about that revealed you saying that, you kind of showed up. You know.
Mm, I don't remember exactly what I said. I just know that I can be honest right now and say that I was not being my full self.
Why?
In the relationship. Because that has always been a rough place for me.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
And I just want to thank you for being vulnerable, because it's hard to, just put yourself out there in front of a bunch of strangers. But can I ask you, is it parts of you that you don't like is why you don't show up as your authentic self?
I think there's parts that I know need improvement, and I'm scared of the judgment. So I'm like, I know this needs to be fixed. So I'm just going to throw like a little construction tarp over it and hope they don't see it,
But they always see it.
But I'm like, exactly. It's futile, right? And I know that, but like, it doesn't always compute logically. Like, I still do it.
So let me ask you this. I have a question. So the things that you don't like about yourself, I think everybody has insecurities, whether it's weight, whether it's just whatever, right? We all hold that. Is it a situation where it's like something that's an insecurity to you, but it's not toxic? Or are there things that you don't like about yourself that definitely needs to change?
Probably both. I'm sure it's both.
Can you give me an example of the one that's toxic?
Yes, I am very quick to criticize. And I think it's because, there's certain things that I can see right off bat, but even if you're somebody who can kind of see a certain situation, that's still your perspective, and it's still based on, whatever lens you're looking through. And so a lot of times I'll just kind of override that out of fear and be like, no, it's this, even though that's not necessarily true. And I think that in making those judgments, it kind of steamrolls over people. And I feel like that's toxic.
You're stubborn. You like to be right. And the fact that you criticize but don't like to be judged. How does that mix?
Man, it's like oil and water.
So tell me about the relationship with the guy. So what happened? You guys are no longer together?
Right. We're not together.
Of course. Of course they're no longer together. Listen, that is the perfect out. We're no longer together. And when we were no longer together, I'm not responsible for the work that was revealed in the mirror interaction.
Right. So given this relationship, the fact that you're not together, did you take from that and say, hey, I need to change and improve upon this?
Yes. It was pretty blatant. I was like, oh, I saw that. I don't like that. That needs to change. I'm in the process of working on it. It's not easy.
It's not, but are you putting in the work? And it's daily.
Yes, every day.
So I commend you for that.
Yay!
And honestly, let me shameless plug for Uncle Zoe. Y'all get the shot at Lighthouse. Get the shot. The reason why I decided to definitely call in tonight is because I feel like this kind of reflects a lot on Lecture 11 in Dr. Zoe's book, or Dr. Zoe, Uncle Zoe.
Uncle Zoe. Yes, that's Dr. Mayo.
Yes,
I'm Uncle Zoe.
Yes, Uncle Zoe's book, Lecture 11, kind of reflects a lot on this. And I think, especially when you start getting into the idea of detaching from results that you want out of relationships and things like that. I mean, for me, I'm just like, how am I going to demand or try and, have any sort of outcome when I have all these issues going on? So that was kind of number one for me. It was a little mind-boggling.
Well, I
yeah.
appreciate you, sister. We love you. We love you. You brought Houston, Texas in the building.
Houston.
Yeah. Thank you for this. Thank you for the call. I'll tell if you want to bring your city in the building. All you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. Let's get deeper. Let's get deeper. It's an impoverished mindset to think that the number one conflict resolution tool is to break up. True or false?
Say that one more time. The conflict resolution
The
tool.
number one conflict resolution tool is breaking up.
Yeah.
Many people see it that way.
Or going into another relationship, occupying your time while you're still in that relationship.
Monkey branching. Yeah. A lot of people do that. A lot of people think you don't see it either, but a lot of people do it, right? So again, many people think, okay, let me cut it off because it's getting too real, too deep.
Run away from the problem.
Come on. Can we go into that impoverished mindset?
So typically when we run away from the problem, obviously because we don't want to deal with the problem, but typically, honestly, I like what she said. You know, there were some things that she saw about herself that she was willing to change, but we run because ding, 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 we don't want to change.
Back again. The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. Carl Jung. And he also said people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul. See, relationship is going to make you face your soul. Relationship is going to put you front and center with your soul. You may not think so, but watch when conflict, right? That's the purpose of conflict. And I'm not talking about violence. I'm not talking about abuse. I'm talking about conflict, right? That's the purpose of it, is to reveal the flaws in the way you think, the flaw in the perspective, the rigidity in the thought process. There's even the impoverishment. Wow, my partner said something that sounds crazy, but really it's an idea that if I looked at it, say coming from somebody else instead of him, this could broaden my perspective. This could stretch my mentality. But because it's coming from him, and I have resentment, and I'm holding on to things that may have happened before, and I said I forgave, but I really didn't because I'm still holding. Do you see? Do you see how the impoverished thought process imprisons the progress for a relationship moving forward? Talk to me.
So, just what you said, I agree completely. I want to go back to when you were saying about change. Many times people don't want to change because then they can be on an island by themselves. And you talked about soul and self-discovery, right? Something to that effect. People don't like to be alone. People don't like to be alone because I like what she said, too, going back to the girl from Houston when she was saying there's parts of me that I don't like.
Attila.
And many people are not willing to be real and be honest about that, right? So if I don't like myself, what does that say about myself? Because if I don't want to be alone with myself to deal with those things, what does that also say?
Dig deeper. Many times people being alone, this is why I make the distinction between peace and quiet.
What is, yeah. I didn't even think about that. Okay, elaborate.
See, so a lot of times being alone is about escaping the noise of your responsibility. Sometimes in a relationship, things get welled up that you have to address about you. And many times people will choose being alone so they don't have to deal with it. So I say quiet is to escape. Peace is to center in the storm. This is what Jesus said when he said, peace, be still. There's a quietness that you could just say, all right, I got this. I'm all right. Even in the storm of it, right? You just, I got this. But many people, they don't know how to be peaceful. They don't know how to just say, because with peace comes acceptance.
With an impoverished mentality comes chaos.
So again, I'm moving away into quiet. There's chaos here, I'm going over there.
Right.
But going over there, that's a type of avoidance. Escapism is a type of avoidance. And you know, like I know, avoidance creates conflict. Because at some point, you got to deal with it. At some point, Jacob had to deal with Esau. You ran away to your uncle Laban. You done married some folk and you had some, and then you come back and you scared of your brother because you didn't deal with it. You avoided the conflict that was waiting. Do you see what I'm saying? Many people avoid the conflict in favor of peace.
Let's flip it real quick, though. Let's talk about...
Wait. When we come forward, she got something for me. Dr. Mayo is in here. I'm going to have to bring her back, man. She is so good. When we come forward, more from Dr. Mayo.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
Hollywood Walk of Fame stars in 2024. Stay tuned to find out who's in next year's class. I'm Aisha Cairo with your K-Black Minute News. A new group of 31 entertainment professionals across film, television, radio, recording, and sports entertainment will have their names etched into Hollywood's history in 2024. One of the most celebrated names on the list was the beloved Chadwick Boseman. Others for the class of 2024 in Hollywood Walk of Fame was this year's Oscar winner Michelle Yeoh in the motion picture category. Other notable names include Chris Pine, Gwen Stefani, Andre, Dr. Dre, Young, Otis Redding, Christina Ricci, Brandy Norwood, Harry Washington, and more. The dates for the star ceremonies have not yet been scheduled. To find out all 31 inductees, visit youtube.com/Walk of Fame.
The Los Angeles Urban League helps African American and others in underserved communities achieve true social parity, economic self-reliance, and civil rights. For over 100 years, Los Angeles Urban League has ensured our communities have access to careers with living wages, opportunities to start and grow businesses, and clear pathways to personal and professional growth. Programs like BizCamp, Construction Career Academy, Bob Business Ready, and B-Warp. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Program are examples of the ongoing events designed to make our centennial mission to rebuild Black Wall Street right here in LA a reality. To sign up for our newsletter or to support the Los Angeles Urban League with your time, talents, and donations, visit laul.org. That's laul.org. The Los Angeles Urban League is a proud sponsor of Urban Family Focus, Saturdays at 7 a.m. on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm James Alexander, a proud member of AARP. 1967, I was 17. That spring, my friends, the Barcades, and I made Soulfinger. It was a hit. Number 3 on the charts. That summer, we became the great Otis Redding's band. First gig, the famed Apollo. That fall, we toured. That winter found me in a morgue identifying the bodies of my bandmates and Otis Redding. My music and their memories bring me joy. The Barcades, forever.
What would you call a joy that is as solemn as it is sweet and knows no bounds? A joy that's beautifully rooted in soul and resilience. This is Black Joy, a joy that reflects pride and honor despite every challenge. AARP believes the power of Black joy is limitless, and we celebrate this joy supreme. Join us in celebrating Black joy at aarp.org/blackcommunity.
You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Came from the bottom, down below. Remember them cold nights, I was sleeping on the floor. All you dream about the 4G, I don't feed, now they down below. A nigga got so much money on me, I can't count no more. Remember I was in the project wall, couldn't even get along. Now they got their hands out, if I ain't give it, I be wrong. Remember I was in the county jail, none of these wasn't picking up the phone. Now they banging my line, I ain't got time no more. I started from the bottom, now I'm living. Early morning, Uncle whipping in the kitchen. Some people said I couldn't do it and I did it. Look at my bank account, I'm running up the digits. I ain't in all that doing that facade. I walk it, I talk it, I live it. Come to the birdhouse, look at the garage. My Bentley coupe got a couple pigeons. I was down on my had to go a new direction. Bought my mama Gucci purse, gave it 10 racks, told her you ain't gotta stress it.
Ladies and gentlemen, your brother Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, has returned to KBLA Talk 1580. We've come full circle after having come forward. I'm here with Dr. Mayo, and when I tell you, She has slapped us upside the head tonight. We are grateful and appreciative of this sister and her husband coming in and sharing this veritable smorgasbord of wisdom. And that's the whole purpose of the show. The antithesis of a wealth mindset is a poverty mindset. Most who have this poverty mindset or poverty mentality don't realize they have it. A poor mindset generates the thinking that attaining wealth is impossible, that it can be done without effort, or that one just does not have the special sauce it takes to become wealthy. This mindset undermines our goals and our active and will actively drive wealth away from us unless we work to counteract it. That's Dr. Lucas D. Shalua. Now let me just say, pouring into your relationship when it's broken is wealth building.
Mm-hmm.
Loving on your partner when they are wounded and their intentions are right by you, that's wealth building. Pouring on yourself, taking time for yourself, self-care, self-empathy, self-acknowledgement, self-acceptance, that's wealth building. Many of us are so hell-bent on looking at our partner to provide all the things that we're capable of providing. That's the poverty mindset. Dr. Mayo is here. I want to give her the final thought.
You just said it. I was basically saying let's give them some tools to leave with. But
There you go.
you said it, wealth building. So you already put it in perspective.
So where do people find you?
SaniaMayo.com. You guys already put it in the chat. If you're not in the chat, SaniYyahmayo.com.
And I also want to support your husband because he's got a lot of good things going on. What are websites and
Grind face.
Yes. I listen.
That's all I have to say. You Google it. Grind face.
Yes. And
Grind face TV.
The reason why I'm acknowledging the brother is because he's a solid brother. Wherever I see you, I see him.
Teamwork.
And I love it. Teamwork makes the dream
There's times
work.
when I got to fall back and support him, and then the other times he got to fall back and support me. We move as a unit.
What is that? That's bidirectionality. You know, that's mutuality. You know, I always say somebody got to support the supporter.
Correct.
Huh?
Correct.
Come on now. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to The Voice of Reason. You already know my rule here. We start the conversation. It's up to you to finish it, right? I always come from the space, we don't know everything, but we know something, right? And we want you guys to build with us. We don't want to dominate the conversation. We want you to come in and share your stories with us. Now, I know some of you guys are uncomfortable having these types of talks. But guess who's not going to stop having them? And I know you're out there listening. I saw you. I know you're out there listening. But it's okay. We're going to continue to have these types of discussions because I believe that healthy relationships are the core of the black community. As long as the black community has poor, impoverished relationships, there won't be any unity. There won't be any cooperation, collaboration. There will always be separation amongst a group of people that need each other more than anybody else in the world. So, this is why we have these types of conversations. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Of course, my guest, Dr. Mayo. She's going to come back, I promise. Are you going to come back?
I'll come back.
Okay, cool. Now, we appreciate you guys for tuning in. Stay tuned to RSVP with Jill Monroe. She's going to keep the fire lit. The Voice of Reason is out until tomorrow. Deuces.
In the jewelry store, looking at what you came by. Man, use a window shopper. In the dealership, trying to get a test drive. Man, use a window shopper. Man, it's when you see me bye-bye. Summertime, white Porsche Carrera is milky. I'm on the grind, let my paper stack, but I'm filthy. It's funny how I get the screw facing at me. Anyhow, they ain't got the heart to get at me. I get down south side the hood that I come from.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Esther Dillard, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network.